What's good, Commanders fans? I am your host, Jack Sperry. Welcome into the Commanders Report. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the NFL Draft. Yesterday, we broke down Mel Kiper Jr.'s Mock Draft 2.0, and it was pretty interesting. Today, I'm going to be giving you my draft targets in the first round for the Washington Commanders, who are picking number 16th overall in this year's NFL Draft. Now, before we get into the juicy stuff today, my 3 draft targets for the Commanders, let's take a look at the team needs for Washington heading into the offseason. Quarterback needs to be something that Eric Bieniemy and the offensive staff figures out here in the coming weeks and months. Are you going to go with Sam Howell? Are you going to sign a free agent? Are you going to make a trade for a guy like Lamar Jackson? That question mark needs to be answered here in the coming weeks and months. I'm very excited to see what they do at quarterback, but then also offensive line, cornerback, safety, and linebacker need to be addressed this offseason if the Commanders are going to be competitors in the NFC in 2023. Very, very excited to see what they can do here in the NFL Draft. Now, in my opinion, I think they should focus on the secondary in the first round, right? Offensive guard is a big need for Washington, but you could probably get that in the later rounds. Quarterback, maybe you trade up for one, but we're not going to be going over quarterbacks today. So on my list, I have 3 players in the secondary that I think on day one can help out the Washington Commanders defense, which has struggled over the last couple of years. So first on my list, Brian Branch, a defensive back out of Alabama. Now, you might be wondering why I have defensive back and not safety or cornerback. And the reason for that, guys, is that this guy can do pretty much everything that you want from a defensive back in the National Football League, in my opinion. I think he is a Swiss Army knife of a defensive back. If you want to go play in the slot and be a cornerback, sure. If you want to put him outside as a cornerback, I think he could do that. If you want to play him at either strong or free safety, I think he can do that as well. And then even in your sub packages, right, your nickel or your dime packages, I think you can put him in as a linebacker. I think this guy is a fantastic talent. He's great in man coverage, great instincts in zone coverage. He's played in a pro defense there at Alabama with Nick Saban's very complex system there on defense. I think he's going to be a freaking fantastic player. And if you are the Washington Commanders and you need just great defensive back help, whether it be at safety, whether it be at corner, you need somebody that you know is going to deliver the goods in the secondary if you are going to compete in the future. This guy is one of the best players, one of the most versatile players in this year's draft class. I am in love with Brian Branch. He is probably my number 1 draft target for the Commanders heading into 2023. All right, guys, before I reveal the last 2 names here on my list, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to have draft coverage and analysis for the Commanders all off season long. And like I've said here on the channel last couple weeks, guys, we are competing with 4 other new channels here at Chat Sports. And the one that gets the most subscribers is going to get a full-time channel. So if you want a full-time channel for your Washington Commanders, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. Second name on my list of first-round draft targets for the Commanders is Devon Witherspoon. Now, this guy, in my opinion, probably has the best tape out of any cornerback in this year's class. He is a hard hitter, and the knock on him is that he's going to be a bit light, right? Only 180 pounds at 6'1". He needs to bulk up a little bit, but you look at the way this guy plays. He's extremely physical. He plays extremely smart. He doesn't grab too much in man coverage, which is very, very a good thing to see from a college guy, someone that I think is going to be able to come into the NFL and handle NFL receivers on day one. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere in the top 10. I think this guy is that good. And like I said, I think he's got the best tape out of any of the corners in this year's draft class, and this is a loaded draft class. Some of the best film I've seen from a college corner, frankly, in my entire time evaluating players for the NFL draft. The Commanders would be extremely lucky to bring this guy in. And finally, last guy on my list, Joey Porter Jr., Penn State corner. We've talked about him actually on the show before. I'm a big fan of Joey Porter Jr. Maybe he won't be the finished, polished product that the Commanders might want on day one. He can be a bit grabby in man coverage sometimes, not something you love to see. The ball skills, he only had 1 interception in his entire time at Penn State. Not necessarily what you want to see there. 0 interceptions last year, but I think part of that is because teams just didn't want to throw in this guy's direction. He's very versatile. He's very long. He's got some of the longest arms that you're going to see from a cornerback prospect. So if you want to see my full breakdown of Joey Porter Jr., we've already done a video on him here on the show. My full scouting report of Joey Porter Jr. Go ahead and check that video out right now. So again, to recap, Brian Branch, go gadget, Swiss Army knife type of defensive back, can do it all, or you can get a guy like Devon Witherspoon, hard hitter, physical corner that's ready to go day one, or you could go Joey Porter Jr., who could be one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League, but he's probably going to need a little more time. So now that you know the guys that I would take in the first round for the Commanders, go ahead in the comment section right now and tell me, who do you want the Commanders to take in round one? Is it a cornerback? Is it a safety? Is it maybe an inside linebacker or an offensive guard? Let me know who you want the Commanders to take in the comment section right now.